I think about it, probably the most significant contribution I've made would be teaching. I taught in Portland Public Schools, and I was at Martin Luther King School for 23 years as teacher, supervisor, and then went to Humboldt and came back to King as the principal. So, but I think that we were instrumental in getting the name changed. William Nomo, who is Lurleen's son, he was 6 years old, and he talked to the Capitol and gave our requests to become Martin Luther King School instead of Highland. And quite the young gentleman, and the newspaper covered that. When I became a teacher at King School, we talked about Martin Luther King, and of course, we did the same thing that everybody did. We talked about it in January. But when I became principal, we redid that, and we talked about Martin Luther King all of December so that we were ready for January at his birthday. And we gave an assembly at the school, and it grew from just the classroom teachers and students to a citywide thing. We usually had over 1,000 people that came to our Martin Luther King program, including the superintendent of education, a lot of the local people, the mayor, the governor, and parents. And we invited other teachers like Ron Herndon when he had the primary school, and he came in, and a lot of different people came, but we made the point to have every grade involved from pre-K to kindergarten in the celebration. And the teachers had taught, and they learned about him. In pre-K and kindergarten, of course, they learned that he was a good man and those kinds of things. I feel that I have come this far by faith also because Martin Luther King became very important to me, not only because I worked at Martin Luther King Elementary School, but I did follow his life, and we saw segregation on television. We didn't really, although we were segregated, it was not blatant and advertised, I guess is the best thing to say. We had our black schools, predominantly black schools on this side, and west side was predominantly white schools. So we had it, but it was by virtue of where we lived and those kinds of things. The current threats to equality, I believe, are ourselves, the police, our president, and the dignitaries, the local politicians, and those kind of things all fall in there because in the black community, we are afraid of the police. We don't know what the good one looks like versus the bad one. And parents are teaching their children, just if they stop you, don't argue, don't fuss, because they're looking for a reason to say justifiable when they shoot and kill a young black person, especially males. To realize King's dream, we have to continue to forge forward. We have to make others aware of the situation that we are in. We want to be able to say the dream realized in the near future, but there's lots of things that have to happen. Our police chief, Sister Outlaw, she started something that was started long ago but kind of got away and those kind of things. But we do have to be aware in our neighborhoods. We have to be able to share with the police without being afraid or frightened. And also the police need to be conditioned that all blacks are not carrying a gun or ready to loot something or shoot something.